last draw, the town of Red Hollow baked under the midday sun, dust swirling through the air like ghosts of the past. It was the kind of place where men carried grudges as easily as they carried their pistols. Jesse Cole rode in slow, his black duster trailing behind him like the shadow of death itself. He was a gunslinger by trade, known from Texas to Montana for his quick draw and steady aim. Some called him a killer, others a lawman, but Jesse never cared much for titles. He lived by the gun, and he reckoned he'd die by it too. Waiting for him in front of the saloon was Sheriff Tom Grayson, a man Jesse once called a friend. They'd fought together in the war, rode together afterward, but life had a way of turning partners into enemies. Grayson had taken the badge, and Jesse had taken the outlaw trail. And now, fate had brought them to this moment. "You should have stayed gone, Jesse," Grayson said, his hand resting on the butt of his Colt. "I ain't much for running," Jesse replied. The street fell silent. Folks ducked behind barrels and doorways, knowing what was coming. The wind kicked up, and the clock on the church tower struck noon. Grayson went for his gun. Jesse did the same. 2 shots rang out. A moment later, Jesse stood tall, while Grayson staggered, clutching his chest. He fell to his knees, a look of surprise frozen on his face. Jesse holstered his gun and stepped forward, kneeling beside the dying man. "Didn't have to be this way, Tom." Grayson coughed, blood staining his lips. "Reckon it did," he whispered before the light left his eyes. Jesse sighed, stood, and turned to his horse. He could already hear the townfolk murmuring. He'd be the villain now, but that was the way of things. Without another word, he mounted up and rode out, just a lone gunslinger chasing the horizon, knowing one day his own bullet would find him. But not today. Follow for part 2.